we admit embarrassingly, to see you step free, so erectly, so elegantly, shrug off the prisoned years, a blanket cobwebbed of pain and grime. Behind, the island's sea sand, harsh, white and treacherous ahead, jagged rocks, bladed crevices of racism and deceit in the salt island air. You swung your hammer grimly stoic, facing the dim path of interminable years. Now, vision blurred with tears, we see you step out to our salutes, bearing our burden of hopes and fears, and impress your radiance on the grey morning air.
A reading from No Easy Walk to Freedom by Nelson Mandela. We have been banned because we champion the freedom of the oppressed people of our country, because we have consistently fought against the policy of racial discrimination in favor of a policy which accords fundamental human rights to all, irrespective of race, color, sex, or language. We are exiled from our own people, for we have uncompromisingly resisted the efforts of imperialist America and her satellites to drag the world into the rule of violence and brutal force, into the rule of napalm, hydrogen and cobalt bombs, where millions of people will be wiped out to satisfy the criminal and greedy appetites of the imperial powers. We have been gagged because we have empathetically and openly condemned the criminal attacks by imperialists against the people of Malaya, Vietnam, Indonesia, Tunisia, and Tanzania, and called upon our people to identify themselves unreservedly with the cause of world peace and to fight against the war politics of America and her satellites. We are being shadowed, hounded, and trailed because we fearlessly voice our horror and indignation at the slaughter of the people of Korea and Kenya. The massacre of the Kenyan people by Britain has aroused worldwide indignation and protest. Children are being burnt alive. Women are raped, tortured, whipped, and boiling water poured on their breasts to force confessions from them that Jomo Kenyatta had administered the Mau Mau oath to them. Men are being castrated and shot. In the Kikuyu country, there are some villages in which the population has been completely wiped out. We are prisoners in our own country because we dared to raise our voice against the horrible atrocities and because we express our solidarity with the cause of the Kenyan people. You can see that there is no easy walk to freedom anywhere. And many of us will have to pass through the valley of the shadows of death again and again before we reach the mountain tops of our desires. Not to mourn Nelson Mandela's death. We gather here today in celebration of his life. The song Asimbonanga says, we have not seen him. We have not seen Nelson Mandela in the place where he is, in the place where he is kept. I too have never seen Nelson Mandela, but I have read his writings. I have heard him speak on the television and the radio. I have felt the passion in his words, the sincerity in his pleas. I can't even begin to imagine the kind of life that he and his fellow countrymen have lived. It makes me truly grateful for the rights and liberties that I, and so many of us, simply take for granted. It takes great courage to battle against this sort of crippling oppression. Success is never absolute, never. But the human spirit does have its fair share of triumphs. We gather here today not to mourn Nelson Mandela, but to celebrate him. For I know this, while he was in his worldly life, his eyes were watching God. Now, for sure, they must be watching us. I sit for the rest of this. Thank you.